Are you like me and you just kind of get a little bored of the games that you're playing? I love Marvel Snap, but sometimes I just want to throw in a nice little challenge. That's why I decided to let ChatGPT draft my conquest deck. My goal is to go from Proving Grounds and get all the way up to get myself an infinity ticket in gold tier. I have no idea if I could do this. I honestly don't think that ChatGPT is gonna draft a good enough deck, but I really only enjoy games when they're incredibly difficult and I'm just suffering. I don't know.
Son, are you fucking for real right now?
I guess I'm just a masochist. It took quite a bit of time training ChatGPT to kind of vaguely understand how the game is, but after inputting a ton of data into the system and of course listing out every single card that's in Marvel Snap, it ended up spitting out this deck, and boy is it a disaster. Half of the abilities aren't even the true card's abilities. Their power, their cost, they're all off. Apparently ChatGPT added some cool abilities that maybe I would want to see in the game, like their Iron Fist has an ongoing that if this card survives a fight, add +1 power, and Black Widow, whose ongoing ability is apparently that this card isn't affected by enemy abilities. Now we know these are not the real abilities, and we also know that this deck sucks. But like I said, I like to suffer, so I'm ready to take this into Conquest. That right there is undoubtedly the worst deck that I've ever seen built, but AI's taken over everything else. Maybe they know something that I don't know. Okay, so obviously I didn't start out with the most confidence in ChatGPT for good reason. This deck is pretty terrible. However, I did have a lot of hope, and then TVA showed up in the first round. My habit is to snap on TVA because I think it's a perfect bluffing opportunity. Unfortunately, my opponent didn't really care and did not retreat. So, of course, their Wasp was gonna give them the best high roll ever with a Doom. That is an awful result. I'm gonna have to retreat. Not a good start. We're already down 2 cubes in Proving Grounds. I'm not really a fan of that. Yeah. Round 2 starts off just the same with a Hawkeye play, and now the opponent is looking at us like we've got to be the dumbest human to ever play Marvel Snap, which led to the most predictable snap on turn 3 ever. We're going to not snap back. I'm a little scared. And scared I should have been, because this was only the start of what I can only describe as an absolute onslaught. First comes out the America Chavez, then Jubilee hit Thor, which kind of felt like a low roll at the time, but that feeling didn't last. Because Daredevil saw that Jane Foster was coming and the writing was on the wall. Thor was gonna get powered up and he was gonna play some big cards on the last turn, including that Mjolnir into the Lockjaw lane. And we're gonna have to figure out on the next turn how we're going to win the right side. And I really don't know how we're gonna pull that off. Spoiler alert, we aren't. So I think we're just gonna have to do this. This sucks. This feels like a 4 cube loss. Wasp, of course. Magneto hurts. Magneto really hurts because we were really close to winning this. So anyway, we lose in unsurprising fashion in the next round and then make a bunch of excuses. Okay, that was just the practice round. We are not gonna go out on that, okay? We're not gonna call that the real run. We're gonna pretend that this didn't happen. We're wiping it from the history books, you know? We were just trying out how the deck works. You know, we gotta get a feel for this wonderfully well put together deck. So we moved on to Proving Grounds once again. And I know that you can't guess what happened next unless you guessed that we ended up losing 8 cubes in the first round in epic fashion as Shang-Chi destroyed our Thor and did not allow us to win Baxter Building. But round 2 brought us brand new life. Mostly because I had given up hope and didn't care, which led to a snap that reeked of desperation and sadness. It turned out that it was the best possible snap for me because now TVA showed up and my opponent gave up. He retreated. We finally won a round. Ladies and gentlemen, we won a round. Let's give it up for ChatGPT, baby. It didn't matter that we won by default because our luck would continue in this game thanks to the Nexus. Oh, we won without winning Nexus! What? And the unthinkable happened one more time. That's right, we won another round. 3 rounds in a row, and now all of a sudden I'm feeling good. The comeback, ladies and gentlemen. Round 5 comes around and I'm feeling good. I'm about to win, and doom shows up and all my hopes are dashed. This is gonna be way harder than I thought. When all hope was lost and our despair was at its highest, suddenly things went our way. First, we were able to secure a storm location when our opponent didn't draw Cyclops. Then we snuck in a Spider-Woman before Spider-Man webbed us out of that location, which gave us a solid 6-point lead. But the biggest swing in our favor was our opponent's absolute disregard for math when he failed to recognize that 17 was actually less than 18. Let's go! An 8-cuber in Proving Grounds, and the ChatGPT deck is ready, maybe, possibly. Is he gonna retreat? He did. He conceded. Let's go. We were riding the highest of highs heading into our first silver conquest. I felt pretty untouchable after our first victory, but it didn't take very long for reality to set in. Soon I was devastated when we lost the first round by only a few points. We lost the left by 3. That's tough, dude. That's so tough. We were so close. 4 cubes were down the drain, but I still had hope until realization dawned on me. That's okay. The path to the comeback is right now, especially since we got Washington, D.C. Actually, Washington, D.C. is way better for him. He's a Patriot deck, duh. It turned out that Washington, D.C. truly was pivotal. It ended up being the precise reason we lost. Misty Knight and Hope were not strong enough to carry us to victory against Ultron's drones. Oh man, why do they run into like the best locations for them possible, dude? Frustration was beginning to set in, but we ended up winning the next 2 rounds. The first was thanks to our Iron Man in the Nexus. The next round actually brought another Nexus. However, I kind of anticipated a turn 6 storm and played around it a little bit, that ended up leading us to victory. Our opponent only had 6 health left, so we only needed 3 more wins. A comeback felt possible until Washington, D.C. showed up again. Oh my God, are you serious right now? And dashed our dreams. I mean, we face a Patriot deck and he gets Washington, D.C. twice. After 2 hours of gameplay, I was tilted and feeling pretty hopeless, but I wasn't ready to give up yet. I hopped into Proving Grounds for one last time, and it turned out that this 20-minute slobber knocker would end up being the toughest battle yet. I took 4 cubes in round 1, with the luck of locations on my side. But in round 2, my opponent ended up casseroling me. Yes, it was only a few points at each location, but I was feeling the pain. I redeemed myself in round 3 because my opponent made the mistake of playing Bishop into Bar Sinister. Thankfully, my turn 6 Iron Man carried me to victory in Nita Valier over my opponent's mirrored Iron Man. All we needed was one more win to move on to silver tier. We ended up pulling off the unthinkable win in the tightest of margins in round 5. We got him! We got him by 1 point! Let's go! I don't know why he did that. That doesn't even make any sense. If I drew Mjolnir, he was dead. We're going into Silver Conquest yet again. We're giving it one more try. I went into Silver Conquest with a glimmer of hope in my eyes, but that quickly turned to fear. 1 point was the difference between me winning and losing 4 cubes. I was devastated, but the second round was worth another 4, but this time it was in our favor. With a bit of location luck and a well-placed Iron Man, we squeaked out the victory. Got him! Let's go! That was huge! With our health tied in round 3, Iron Man carried us again to another 4-cube victory. Our opponent's massive hulks couldn't quite overcome double Iron Man into Sinister London. Our opponent ended up giving up with 2 health left. Oh, he's gone! He's gone! We won our first match in silver! We did it! We won 1 in silver, let's go. But our confidence didn't last very long when our Iron Man went the wrong way. We needed Iron Man to go right, which led to a very disappointing round 1 retreat. In round 2, our opponent got a little overconfident with an early snap. It turned out that he didn't know that Iron Lad was really on our side. And Ultron comes. Oh boy, that's a snap from me. He retreated and we took an early lead. Unfortunately, round 3 brought more heartache when Doom took back Kiln from us. Oh, it's a big loss. Fuck. By round 4, after playing with a subpar deck, I was exasperated. I was tired of trying to make ChatGPT's deck work when it clearly was not going to. I originally wanted to give a nice conclusion that kind of analyzed everything and wrapped it up, but instead I'm gonna say something from my heart. Fuck ChatGPT. Thanks for watching.